Your daughters will be raped and your sons beheaded unless we stop Islam once and for all. We're done turning the other cheek. Remember, David didn't pray for Goliath. He killed them. America is a Christian nation, so those terrorist Muslims can fuck off to any of the 57 Muslim nations. There is only one true God, and that is the God of Israel.
Gave my brothers a drink up, did everything but gave up. Stabbed my back, I came front. Still we win, we prayed up. Even when we die, we raise up. Ain't no wanting no.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome over to the Speak the Truth podcast, where I opened up with a horrible representation of Christians. You're welcome. Yeah, number one, she's burning a Quran, which can't fault her for. But you know, how are you about to quote Jesus like numerous times and everything else, like in your whole opening segment while burning a Quran, and then start dropping F-bombs and do everything else? I just felt like sharing that because, I don't know, felt like the thing to do. Now, as we're waiting on everybody to pour in here, just know that we have a great breakdown of the incident that took place over inside Gaza today, in which the IDF ended up targeting, yes, that's right, Hamas terrorists, and I'll show you how they ended up targeting Hamas. Don't worry about it. Despite what the media says, yes, numerous Hamas terrorists were killed in the strike over by the Nasser hospital. Now, as we're waiting on everybody else to come in, before I end up going off the Biden admin, because I've done some deeping after a great interview that I ended up having today, I just want you to enjoy Russian regular army guys getting their butt kicked by Ukrainian SF for a hot minute.
Сдавайте! Выходите, сука, оружие нахуй выкинули! Вы, блядь, на мушке! Идите! Оба ложимся! Руки, блядь, поднял! И вылезай! Вылазь, вылазь! Давайте, выходим, ложимся! Два человека! Да, нас двое, нас двое! Все, выходим! Погнали! Мы сейчас автоматами со выходим быстрее!
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. You guys ready to kick it off? I'm pretty excited to get this show going tonight. I hope you are.
Где второй? Еб землю! Быстрее, быстрее! Еб землю! Бегом, бегом, ему!
All right, have we had enough crazy Ukrainian propaganda yet of like watching them kick dead bodies and kill people hiding inside of frickin' tunnels and bunkers and things like that? Have you? Because I don't know if you guys know this or not, but everybody's claiming that the Russian military is like some sort of a stand-up force and that they're just absolutely crushing it out there. And this video actually reminds me of one that I remember a dude from like basic training, but it wasn't nearly this bad. I mean, that guy was clearly retarded. The one from the army video that was like putting the magazine in his rifle with no bullets or whatever the heck it was from like years ago. But what if I told you that there is a Russian equivalent of Gomer Pyle? Because there is.
Таких военкомат присылает на войну. Автомат не может перезарядить. Элементарное движение.
Давай, давай, давай.
Напряжение. Сука, давай, блядь. Он все-таки полость. Контроль пальца, блядь. Сейчас ебу по пальцу. Контроль пальца, блядь. Давай, сука, он тебя, блядь, получит.
Who said no one wins in war? Ryan C., stop quoting Call of Duty. There is clear winners and there is clear losers in war. Period. End of discussion. I go home at the end of the day. My enemy doesn't. I won that day. That's how that works. There is winners and there is losers. Politicians might determine otherwise. However, I got to go home at the end of the day. I won. Period. End of discussion. Let me tell you who's not going to go home at the end of the day. Gomer Pyle over here.
Ой, военкомат нас присылает.
Пробуй. Форд, давай. Ну, с другой стороны, значит, снизу пусти руку.
Форд, ты с откуда?
Руку менять.
Вот, Перми, блядь. Пермячи, передавайте привет. Вот такие.
Через низ пусти ручку свою.
Куда, блядь, контроль пальца, сука, нахуй.
Попробуй вот так вот поставить его.
Сверху нельзя, да?
Вот так. Пробуй. Пальцем попробуй.
Пальцем?
Да, не все ладошки.
Oh, yeah, just use your finger, man. That's going to work out perfect. You guys, this is what is being sent to the front line, just to make it perfectly clear. Every time you hear people that are like, no, the Russians are doing great. They're going to kick Ukraine's butt. They're just crushing it out there. I'm just throwing this out there. This is what exists. I hope you guys see this right here. That is him with his finger after he couldn't do it with his freaking hand, right? Like, look at him just like struggling with all that man meat, doing it with his like little tiny pinky and everything else. And then he comes over, he like actually puts his hand on the freaking charging handle. Great. And then it turns out.
Вот так. Пробуй. Пальцем попробуй.
Пальцем?
Да, не все ладошки.
А у него палец сейчас сломается.
I can't do it. With his little sausage fingers, he can't get it in. Yep, that's a problem. Not sending their best. And at least this guy actually, I don't know, isn't 80. He's slightly overweight. Not even kidding that. By American standard, he's probably like well within like height and regs. I don't know. Like height, weight, regs, whatever the hell it is that we call it these days. But yeah, I mean, he kind of like fits that bill, but he's still a little bit out of shape. And yeah, let's go take a look and see how else things are going over inside of Russia. Shall we? I told you guys that we've been going after, like, Ukraine has been going after oil refineries and everything else over inside of Russia. Well, do you guys ever like wonder what it looks like on the ground after Ukraine ends up striking those places and how bad their life sucks afterwards? You don't have to wonder anymore. You're welcome.
Туда. Пожарный поезд. Освобождайтесь, отходите. Участка БУ-2. Туда, отходите, выключайтесь, освобождайтесь. 904-го. Идите, охладитесь, маски снимите пока. 212 заметил. Яркая сеть 402. Яркая сеть 402. 402 косин. Место прибыл пожарный поезд, производит боевое развертывание. 402 косин, прибыл пожарный поезд, производит боевое развертывание. 1234. 212 и второму автомобилю. Снимай 212. Мне надо за забор 2 человека, здесь водоем, помочь установить машину.
You know, maybe if you don't invade other people's countries, stuff like this won't happen. It just won't. But I don't think Russia's learned their lesson. Their oil fields, their oil refineries, everything is going to continue to get attacked, and it's paying off really, really well. I see a lot of people ask me for a pants check, and I'm going to let you guys know I am not wearing pants. So if you're trying to pants check me, you win. I am not officially wearing pants tonight. I don't know why that's such a big deal on this podcast. I know I can thank Rob. I can throw back to when he came in and said Matt's never wearing pants. And in fact, tonight, I'm not. But that doesn't change the fact that I am reporting accurate information over here on the Speak the Truth YouTube channel. Now, in case you guys missed this morning's live session, I got to bring up this nut job, Sergei Lavrov, the foreign minister for Russia. If you guys haven't heard this portion, strap in because it's going to drive you nuts.
So
Okay,
yes,
Mr. Foreign Minister, let's keep
he is ready
moving.
to meet.
Let's keep moving.
But no, we cannot meet just for him to have a picture and to say that now I am legitimate. Legitimacy is another matter, because irrespective of when this meeting might take place, and it must be very well prepared, the issue of who is going to sign the deal on Ukrainian side is a very serious
So you're
issue.
saying you don't see President Zelensky as the legitimate leader of Ukraine? President Putin doesn't recognize him as the legitimate leader of Ukraine?
No, we recognize him as de facto head of the regime.
Come on, Debbie. Go, Matt, freeballing. I'm not freeballing, for the love of God. Like, there's an alternative to pants, you know. They're called shorts. Sometimes we wear shorts in life, and we don't always have to wear pants, Debbie. Get your mind out of the gutter. For the love of God, Debbie. Shame on you.
And in this capacity, we are ready to meet with him. But when it comes to signing legal documents, now you want to have the entire picture, just part of it, which suits you. When we come to a stage when you have to sign documents, we would need a very clear understanding by everybody that the person who is signing is legitimate. And according to the Ukrainian constitution, Mr. Zelensky is not at the moment.
Okay, well, he is the democratically elected president. Mr. Foreign Minister, let's keep moving.
Okay, so there's your big problem with Lavrov. There's your big problem with Putin. And there's why they're just not going to come to the table, and blows are going to continue to get traded. They don't recognize Zelensky as, number one, a legitimate leader. And number two, they also are stating the same crap that we have, which is he doesn't have the authority to just give up terrain willy-nilly. So any deal that they end up coming with, they're going to have to go back. They're going to have to get approval. Zelensky's going to have to take it back, and then he can sign his name to the dang dotted line. Yeah, that's right. Your name, you're not named, but your heads were in the gutter if you thought for some reason I was just sitting over here freeballing. That's just absolutely ridiculous. I can't even believe that. Thirsty Sloth, not missing this one. Haha. Hope everybody's having a good evening. No, Latau, I did not get a P.O. box yet. Jason Ridley says, well done, Matt. Thanks for all of the hard work. Night Keep. Thanks for everything that you bring to light by just speaking the truth. Thank you, sir. Keep up the good work, Matt. And don't forget to like the stream, guys. That comes from Boner. I'm just going to go ahead and call him Boner because that's what his name says. His name is quite literally Boner. Danny Golan says the cussing in Russian. Haha. Yes, they cuss quite a bit, don't they? Yep. And Latau coming in, just dropping a fatty old two. Now, we're waiting to get more out of Ukraine, to be honest with you, as all of that's going down. I don't really see where it's going or if it's going to go anywhere. But yesterday, if you're watching over from like Europe, or if you're watching here in the United States, it would be today over inside of Ukraine. Yeah, let's just bring up the statement by Zelensky, sir.
Ось така Україна ніколи більше в історії не буде примушена до сорому, який русські називають компроміс. Нам потрібен справедливий мир, яким буде наше майбутнє вирішувати тільки нам. І світ це знає, і світ це поважає. Поважає Україну, сприймає Україну рівною. Україна, яка може реально за добу зібрати і об'єднати довкола себе лідерів світу. Ось така.
Look, at the end of the day, Ukraine's not giving in to Putin. He's just like, Zelensky is not going to do it. I've got some good trash talk. Excuse me. I have to move that out of the way. I got some good trash talk coming over here towards the end of the podcast. I did a lot of searching, honestly, on what the heck is taking place over there. And truthfully, what I kind of came up with about the Obama and Biden administration today blew my flipping mind. I actually ran an analysis to determine how much of their policy negatively affected Ukraine. So during Obama's presidency, all the way back to like 2008 and 2009, up through when Trump took over, and then following when Joe Biden ended up picking up in 2020. There is some extremely disturbing facts that ended up coming out of that, like background research. I spent several hours this morning go over it. It's absolutely disgusting. I'm trying to remember why the hell I put JD Vance up here in the first place, but I'm kind of curious to see what he has to say because he's not been on the mark a lot lately, but we'll find out.
Chris, and I think the Russians have made significant concessions to President Trump for the first time in 3.5 years of this conflict. They've actually been willing to be flexible on some of their core demands. They've talked about what would be necessary to end the war. Of course, they haven't been completely there yet, or the war would be over, but we're engaging in this diplomatic process in good faith. We are trying to negotiate as much as we can with both the Russians and the Ukrainians to find a middle ground to stop the killing. I think what the president has tried to do here is try to engage in very aggressive, very energetic diplomacy, because this war is not in anyone's interest. It's not in Europe or the United States' interest. We don't think it's in Russia or Ukraine's interest to keep going. So we're going to keep on pushing for a diplomatic solution. And one
Well, keep on pushing for a diplomatic solution and let me know how that works out. Meanwhile, a bunch of people are just going to continue to fight and die. So you can either give them what they need because the Russians aren't going to stop, just like the Palestinians aren't going to stop, or you can sit here and play these diplomatic games back and forth. Now, Bodan says, Trump said today that Putin doesn't want to meet Zelensky because he doesn't like him, as per Reuters reported. Now, that may be a statement that Trump ended up coming out with, but that doesn't mean that it's true. I know for a fact that frickin' Putin doesn't respect Zelensky. No crap, dude. Their countries are at war. Of course he doesn't like them, right? But at the same time, there's other things that go into it, right? Like if we were to look at this on face value and just ask some common sense questions. I had this discussion last night. Let's ask some common sense questions, right? Lavrov stated in that same interview that I played earlier that the reason that Russia had gone into Ukraine in their special military operation was so that they could liberate the separatists that were being killed by the evil Ukrainians. Okay, well, if that's the case, why did they wait so long to do it? Why did they wait till that war had been going on for, 8+ years before they decided to enter and do anything about it, right? Why did they take Crimea? Because the separatists weren't taking part over inside of Crimea. That was totally different, right? So they did a land grab over inside of Crimea, and then they decided to go into, like, the east. Does that make sense? And shoot down civilian aircraft? Okay, cool. Well, then if that's the case, why did they launch their special military operation getting a land grab in between Crimea and the Donbass region? The hell did that have to do with the separatists? Absolutely nothing. Russia did it anyways. And then we can take it a step further and say, why the hell did Russia even try to sack Kiev, for crying out loud? Why did they try to kill Zelensky upon their invasion? Why did they drop Spetsnaz all the way over in the west by Lviv? Makes 0 sense. None. And they did it anyways. And it has absolutely nothing to do with any of it. And so, while yes, what Trump stated, he doesn't like Zelensky, that doesn't mean that he's not going to come to the table, because they're running out of flipping manpower, for crying out loud. They got nothing left. Latau says, Matt, your dedication is insane. Thank you for your effort you put into your podcast. Hopefully, if you feel like being an FA, this will cover your chicken nugs. Haha. Yeah. One day, man. One day I will go get me some chicken nuggets. And if you guys missed that episode last week, that's how you know that dude's been listening, man. That's how you know they're listening. Fox McCloud, prove you're not wearing pants. Stand up. And I'm not helicoptering, man. I'm not going to helicopter. No. But I will tell you, if that's what you're into, there is an old website. I have no idea if it's still running. You can go to meatspin.com and see plenty of helicopters. I promise you, there's a big helicopter, as long as it's still the same as it was when I was in high school. It's a big helicopter on the screen. You're welcome to go take a look at it. Fox McCloud says, flex it if you a real one. No homo. I ain't flexing nothing, man. I ain't flexing nada. I don't understand why are you guys so obsessed with my genitals and what I'm wearing from the waist down? The studio is set up from like the shoulders up, and yet you guys are always like telling me like waist down. I need to be able to show that. No, I absolutely don't have to do it. Now, over here in the United States, there was a little bit of controversy before we get into Ukraine, or I'm sorry, before we get into Israel. Over here in the United States, there was a little bit of controversy today about the First Amendment, which is kind of a problem in the United States of America.
This is an executive order on flag burning. It charges your attorney general.
Would you listen to this? This is very important. Flag burning. All over the country, they're burning flags. All over the world, they burn the American flag. And as you know, through a very sad court, I guess it was a 5-4 decision.
GA says they're all Navy in the chat. All Navy in the chat, according to GA. That's a gay joke and a service joke directed at the Navy. Just throwing that out there.
They called it freedom of speech, but there's another reason which is perhaps much more important. It's called death. Because what happens when you burn a flag is the area goes crazy. If you have hundreds of people, they go crazy. You can do other things. You can burn this piece of paper. But when you burn the American flag, it incites riots at levels that we've never seen before. People go crazy. In a way, both ways. There are some that are going crazy for doing it. There are others that are angry about them doing it. Do you want to discuss that?
Sure. So what the executive order does, sir, it charges your Department of Justice with investigating instances of flag burning, and then where there's evidence of criminal activity, where prosecution wouldn't fall afoul of the First Amendment, and instructs the Department of Justice to prosecute those who are engaged in these instances of flag burning.
And what the penalty is going to be, if you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail. No early exits, no nothing. You get 1 year in jail. If you burn a flag, you get, and what it does is incite to riot. I hope they use that language, by the way. Did they?
Yeah,
incite to riot.
I just read the comment that's down in there just randomly. I'm not even sure where it came from or how I read it. JF says, actually gay, not gonna lie, but not a F-A something, LOL. That had me cracking up inside. That's hilarious. Fox McCloud making a clap like a baddie, no diddy. Dude, I'm not making it clap. That's not gonna happen. You're not gonna see me shaking my booty. None of that's going down. GA, they're all Navy in the chat. Yeah, of course, man. Got Perky coming in with 2. Look, you can, you know what? I'm gonna run a vote. Like I'm not even gonna give my 2 cents on this. But I will tell you exactly what like the executive order says. Executive order actually states that the only way this is actually enforceable is, number one, if you are doing it in order to incite violence or a riot. And in most states, that's actually already a crime, believe it or not. You can't do things like that in order to incite violence or a crime. It's like screaming freaking fire in a movie theater when there's no fire, or inciting violence just in general. It's already a crime. Yeah, so I'm just gonna type this out. And like they said, they're charging whoever the heck it was, Justice Department, to go after, investigate, and look into those cases. I really don't feel like commenting on that anymore. I got a feeling the Supreme Court's going to weigh in on that. I know there's other Supreme Court legislation that goes into it. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, as you guys sit there and you take a vote on that, which I got a feeling we're going to be really freaking split on. But as you guys are flipping that over there, I want to present to you guys this video, and I want you to pay attention to it because this is probably one of the most scary videos I have seen coming out of Gaza to date. Now, why do I say that's one of the most scariest videos that I've seen coming out of Gaza to date? Well, let's look at this common sense. If you guys haven't figured out what's going on in this video, allow me to break it down for you. Inside of this video, you have a very young child with a fresh haircut and brand new clothes. Well, maybe not brand new, but clean clothes. Fresh haircut, clean clothes, clean kid. Everything looks okay so far. And then he's holding a dog bowl, and inside of that dog bowl, you have dirt. And then he's got his spoon with dirt on it, and then you look inside of his mouth, and his mouth is filled with dirt. Now, it's pretty obvious to me, and probably everybody watching this right now, that that kid is not malnourished at all. Not even remotely close to being malnourished. Nope. But if you look inside of his mouth where he's crying, let me go ahead and pop that up on the screen for you so you can see it nice and big. And you look inside of his mouth, he legitimately ate the dirt. Which means his parents or whatever figure it is that cares for this child gave him a bowl of dirt. And for those of you that haven't had kids, maybe you don't understand how easy it is and how trusting and loving children are. But they literally gave this child a bowl of dirt. And he ate it. He put it in his mouth and then likely started crying because of it. They literally abused a child so that they could get this propaganda video that's up on your screen to pretend like this clearly not starving child is starving. This well-nourished, well-manicured, well-cared-for kid, they put frickin' dirt in a bowl and had him eat it. Got to put that up before I go into the next segment of the show because God only knows the freaking hate's going to end up pouring out. Oh, my goodness. 194 of you guys have came in and voted on that poll pinned up at the top of the chat. 57% of you guys do not think that it is a violation of the 1A. Okay. Doc Hook, VA. I have to be honest, these T2 moves back kind of verified a lot of my dictator pre-check concerns. Yeah, I mean, there is definitely some stuff in there. Grammy Alkins? God, I can't even read tonight. Coming in and gifting out a Speak the Truth membership. I either need LASIK or glasses. It's one or the other, man. It's that time of year. Sky God coming in and gifting out 20 Speak the Truth memberships. Appreciate you, Sky God. It's a nightmare. Honestly, looking at some of the crap that these people subject their kids to, and that's just one of the ones on face value. Now, this was the main story that ended up coming out of Gaza today that everybody's concerned about. Of course, the assault on Gaza City and everything else, but it was bad enough when Netanyahu ended up coming out and making a statement, basically owning up for what ended up happening, saying that he regretted the loss of civilian life. Piers Morgan decided to jump on there and lose his freaking mind over the words that Netanyahu used, but we're going to talk about why all of this is likely a bunch of BS. IDF strike on South Gaza hospital said to kill 20, including rescuers and journalists. Oh, God, not the journalists again, right? Oh, God. It's pretty sad when even the Times of Israel is failing to mention that Hamas fighters were killed during this. And we'll get there in just a sec. Footage from the Nasser hospital shows rescue workers on site of initial tank fire hit by second impact. IDF orders probe, says it regrets any harm to civilians and in no way targets journalists. That's correct. That is, in fact, not what happened today. Journalists were not targeted at all. Nope. Ahmed Hazem Shaheen. He got killed. Guess who he happens to work for? Hamas might sign his paychecks. Just throwing that out there. Latau coming in and giving out 20 Speak the Truth memberships. He was killed. That's just a fact. He ended up going down. Out of all of these people that the Gaza Ministry of Health is claiming got killed in this strike today that we covered a little extensively this morning on this morning's podcast, guess what? 2 of them are known members of Hamas. 2. John Wilson coming in and giving out 20 as well. Real Sal. You know why they do this to the vids? Because they know American MAGA and the far left are low IQ and hate Israel and will believe anything shown to them. MAGA and the far left will be the end of America. I'm going to be honest with you, man. I don't even know what either of those two terms mean anymore when it goes down to MAGA or the far left. I look at things, I look at the Constitution, I look at my love of country, and I look at God. And I have trouble finding any politicians that actually fit into that category whatsoever these days. I really do. I mean, they might tell you their heart's in the right place, but is it? Probably not. I hate to say it, man. I'm becoming a lesser fan of anybody at this point. Michael Mayo coming in and gifting out 10 Speak the Truth memberships. Appreciate you, sir. Yeah, what is it? Right? What is MAGA? And what is the far left? Right? What the heck do any of these dang things mean anymore? And why can't anybody just be flipping honest with how things go down? Did people get killed today inside of Gaza in this tank fire? Yeah. Did I report to you guys this morning it wasn't an airstrike and likely tank fire? Yes, I did. What ended up coming out today? Oh, what do we know? A tank ended up doing it. Mohammed Salma, another POS that ended up getting schwacked today. Let me introduce you to some of Mohammed Salma's work. So as you can see up there on your screen, I'm just going to go ahead and kill the squiggly music. Mohammed Salma ended up going over and recording that. And he actually ended up hitting my radar a couple months ago. And I didn't even realize that till just now. Ended up having to go track him down up over on Instagram for some other garbage work that he ended up doing. Doc Hook, VA flying, says if you got hit by concussive force, yes, you might have retinal damage like me. Oh, that's interesting. Go figure. Matt might actually have retinal damage. Yeah, I might need to get that looked into. Smokey Sergeant, people need to remember these people are known for using children as body armor. Makes my blood boil and renews my rage. BBG coming in, gifting out 5 Speak the Truth memberships. And when you've seen that stuff before, when you've actually seen Islamic terrorists using children, using women, using men, using innocent people as human shields, literally forcing them to be in between the fighting or threatening to kill them, you develop a brand new set of rage that cannot be cannot be expressed. Number 2, terrorists ended up getting schwacked today, at least that we're aware of. All right. Ended up getting freaking hit. Now, we'll take a look at the video of what kind of went down and where it went down. Because the Palestinian media reported it was an airstrike. Oh, of course it was an airstrike. Well, that is one of the weakest airstrikes I've ever seen. The actual strike, which you guys are about to see, took place on the staircase right over here. And it wasn't an airstrike, it was an actual tank shell. I've got a great breakdown video to show you guys it wasn't an airstrike and it was likely a tank shell. And you'll see why in just a sec. Real Sal, MAGA and the far left are people who act like they're pro-America and want what's good for America, but blame America for everything and support the dudes in black in this video. Yeah. You know, if anybody's supporting the dudes in black inside of that video, they deserve to get freaking hit. Like directly inside, like right in the freaking ovaries, in my opinion. You have no place in this country as far as Matt's concerned. None. You shouldn't be allowed to be a flipping American at all. Like, you need to get kicked the hell out. So first, let's start with the video of the strike itself. That's it. That's the strike. Now, I did this on this morning stream, so I'm going to give you guys the shortened version of it. I'm going to take it down to a quarter play speed and hit go. Now, right before the detonation actually occurs, you can see the building shake. You guys see that? And then you see how the shockwave ends up coming from one side going towards the other. You guys all see that, right? So it looks like some sort of like impact delay round, something like that, like a 2-stage round where it ends up hitting and then detonating. Like once it ends up going to the building, I have no idea what the hell they used in order to target it, but it's not an airstrike. And I can tell you it's not an airstrike for a very good reason. And that goes into comparing it to other airstrikes that we have.
الآن خليك يا الله راح الدفاع المدني قتلوا الناس. حد يوقفهم من هنا. حد يوقفهم من هنا. لا حصل الآن خليك
So I'm not the only one that thinks that. Danny Golan says 2 delayed fused tank rounds. It is. Good. Danny, I'm glad we're in agreement. For those of you who don't know, Danny is a tanker. Operates over there. Jasmine Rose, you didn't see my 3-month membership message, so here it is. Thank you for everything that you do. We appreciate you, Matt. Well, thank you, Miss Jasmine. I really appreciate you. Thank you very much. I know I might not be as cool as Nate over at Valhalla, but, you know, I do my best to take care of things. Now, let's get our butts back over, because that was only one of the things I want to show you. Here's the other thing that I want to show you. Israeli channel news ended up discovering this. Now, I told you guys this morning that ended up hearing something about maybe the CCTV cameras were being used in order to target Israel, i.e. they were filming the Israeli Defense Forces that were moving in and about in the area and so on and so forth. Now, with 2 Hamas fighters confirmed killed, two, and that back channel information will say, coming out, what you're looking at in the bottom right corner of your screen is a camera setup, all right, that's being hidden underneath like that white blanket, towel, whatever, all right? So they ended up taking it, throwing that over top. Maybe it's to take down glare or whatever. Now, the media out there is saying that the reason they end up doing this is so that they can, you know, like document what Israel's doing and so on and so forth. But that doesn't really make sense at all, when you have 2 members of Hamas that end up getting killed in this strike. You know what those cameras set up like that are actually used for? And I will tell you this from my own experience and the crap that I've seen documented. What they end up doing is they end up setting up those cameras when they plan on ambushing the IDF. You know those sniper videos that you see? You know those Hamas like promo videos that you see where Israeli soldiers get shot and tanks get freaking blown up and all that other shit? That's how it's done. They take their little cameras and they set them up. Yeah, sometimes they're being recorded on cell phones and everything else. But when it's those well thought out ambushes where they have people there, like I want you to picture those little freaking sniper videos and all sorts of crap that they end up setting up. It's because of stuff like this. Period. It's because of stuff like this. Do you think a single person that was walking up that staircase today was unaware that this was taking place? Anyone? Do I need to run a poll for this one? I feel like we're going to get like a 80 to 90%. Yeah, they knew what the hell was going on. I can reference hostage videos from the Nasser hospital of hostages that have been released that said they had multiple rooms in which they kept 10 to 15 hostages at one point. Literally turned the whole freaking thing into like hostage stores. They're morphing into towel heads. I don't know about that one. For people to sit back and claim that like this incident is somehow evidence of Israel committing genocide, I find it extremely laughable. Extremely, extremely laughable. And it's not like we haven't heard of their journalists being used for this in the past. I went over this morning. This was a statement of somebody that ended up coming out of Gaza. Do I remember the SOI snipers? Yeah, Doc. Of course. Abraham Maring coming in, gifting out 3. This guy statement out of Gaza. Everyone is shocked that the occupation is criminal and is bombing hospitals. Well, has any of you asked yourself why the Qassam leadership has turned Nasser Hospital into a military base in the first place? International Security Department instead of the Health Department, and the Hein Dagama Institute has been taken over by Abu Dabassa and a gang of Saham mercenaries. And in rooms in the Yassin department have been converted into operating rooms. And even the building behind Nasser's morgue is controlled by the same mercenaries. The hospital was supposed to be a refuge for wounded and sick, was turned into a hideout and a barrier, and then they came in to trade people's blood and surprised by the bombing. No kidding. Israel should just fight war and say nothing. Oh, you think Israel should just be fighting the war and not saying anything? Well, that would be hard with all of the idiots that are standing out in the streets. Here's another journalist, Mohammed Salma. You guys remember him? I didn't show you specifically the amazing things that he's done. Let's take a look at some of his work, particularly on October 7th.
رحل الذين نحبهم رحل الذين نحبهم رحل الذين نحبهم لأول مرة رحل الذين نحبهم رحل الذين نحبهم رحل الذين نحبهم لأول مرة رحل الذين نحبهم.
Do I need to play it anymore, or is that loop enough? Does playing a couple times on loop kind of like set it in for you guys that this guy was a raging pile of shit? When I said I'm happy, like I don't care that this man died. I could care less. And anybody that's rolling with him is likely a raging pile of garbage as well. You think this journalist had no idea what was going on? Give me a flipping break. Give me a flipping break. If you guys don't believe me, his Instagram's still up. You can go find him and look him up, and you can go look through his Instagram and the amount of crap that he has up on there. This guy is a raging pile of Hamas garbage. Period. Add a discussion. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. Fox McCloud, Nate from Valhalla would have never been scared to let that thing clap. No diddy. Well, I ain't Nate from Valhalla, and I ain't letting it clap. That just ain't going to happen. So Nate from Valhalla can let it clap all he wants, but I'm not going to let it clap, right? Nate can go freaking rub some Rogaine on his head, and then he can like the top of his head, and he can let it clap that way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right, let's go take a look at Khan Yunis and watch that sucker get blown up today, because, you know, everybody loves seeing crap in Khan Yunis getting blown up.
الله يعوضك عوض خير يا اخي.
You guys gonna go tell on me now? You gonna go tell Nate that I did the For making it clap? Is that what you're going to do? Do it. Do it. If he's not watching right now, he heard it. Look, man, this is kind of like one of those things, right? Tardio just claps back. Your hairline's not great either. Yeah, well, I got one. That's more than Nate can say. At least I got one, man. That's more than Nate can say. What? Yeah. Yep. All right. Jeez, man. Jeez Louise. You guys and all your crap tonight. Yeah. Look. Ta-da, it's gone. Bet you won't. Tardio ain't got the cake. I'm about to call him right now and be like, hey, I made a joke tonight. Gosh. Anyways, he has one and he can grow it too. Yeah. Oh, he does. Oh, you want to bet? Oh, you want to bet? He can. Okay. That sounds like. Okay. Is that what you think? Hold on. Oh no, I'm not logged in. Got lucky. He got lucky. Ooh, I wonder if it's up on his X account because he does have one. I wonder if he put that video on there. Oh, there he is. Yeah. Come on, man. Did you not upload it over here? God, he doesn't put anything on his X account. Dang it. Go over to his IG and watch his latest post. He actually said that he was going to end up putting out his DD-214 and his other documents, and he's done it before in the past. I can do that myself. I don't mind doing that. He says he's going to end up doing it Friday. I reached out to Stolen Valor, who I know has already vetted me, and I actually told Stolen Valor that there's somebody out there whose last name might start with an A and end with a Gular that is accusing me of not leading troops in combat. So I actually offered, because I don't want to post all of that stuff. I actually had a discussion about it. Because I don't feel like putting stats up on the screen and being accused of all this other crap. And I said, look, Stolen Valor, this is the crap that's happening. If you want my paperwork, not that you don't have my DD-214, but if you want to see some of my other award paperwork, things like that, in order to validate, you're more than welcome to do that. Here's the stuff, right? So currently reaching out to him in order to have that. Hopefully he gets back to me pretty soon. If not, I'm going to have to reach out to him on Signal, which I don't like bothering people like that. But dang it, if I have to, I will. You know, if I absolutely have to, I will. All right. Trump says a lot of things, ladies and gentlemen. He says a lot of things.
Farmers in the world, so we have a lot of food, but we're sending a lot of it over to Gaza, and we're feeding a lot of people. But with all of that being said, it's a lot of people to feed. And I think that we will have, I think within the next 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to have pretty good conclusive ending. It's a hard thing to say because they've been fighting for thousands of years. If you want to know, that's been a hotbed forever. But I think we're doing a very good job. But it does have to end. But people can't forget October 7th either. Farmers in the world, so we have a lot of food.
So Trump thinks this thing's going to be over in a couple of weeks. Now, what's he referencing? Likely getting Shira 2, going in, taking over Gaza City, finish clearing out Khan Yunis. Gaza City is literally like the last little crap hole that they have to clear out over there. All the people are being shoved down into Rafah. There's actually videos coming out, a bunch of stuff that I didn't share with you guys about where they are being told not to clear out Gaza City. Like there's actually influencers stuff that are coming out telling them to defy those orders and to stay in there. Smokey Sargent, there's a reason Al Jazeera is politely escorted out of the theater when we have operational control. Al Jazeera is not okay. Like they are the worst. And if, I don't know, you're a retired Green Beret and you went on a television station spreading lies, you probably shouldn't do it if they're affiliated with Al Jazeera and then get caught with your pants down when you get called out for it. Jim Knox says, I'm a politician and left as they come, but don't support Hamas. I'm on side of Israel. Yeah. I mean, look, people on the left and the right, and I think that's why the individual ended up bringing up like radicals, saying that it's the radicals that are doing that. Those radicals, either like the extreme, and I didn't even understand what like extreme MAGA meant or like what they're referring to when it goes down to MAGA until I heard like how whack job some of these people actually are. And that's not to say if you label yourself as MAGA or if you label yourself as far left that you're a whack job, right? Because there's some people that don't understand like how extreme some of them actually are. And I mean absolutely extreme. Like there's people that are saying like if Trump doesn't come out and state X, Y, and Z, then he's no longer MAGA. I'm like, how are you about to state that the man that started the whole MAGA movement isn't freaking MAGA? I would think of all people that has an idea of what the hell he meant by that, it would be probably the guy that ended up bringing it up. Now, UN draft resolution. Holy freaking crap. I got to bring this up. I don't even know where to begin with this. Official French draft resolution calling for recognition of a Palestinian state. It's bad. It's pretty bad. How bad is it? Well, just to, I'm going to put it up here on the screen for you guys and just, you know what? Let's just go ahead and I'll just throw this whole thing up there. It's their New York Declaration, right? July 29th, 2025. And you read through this thing and it's pretty bad. And this is all stuff that they're going to end up going over at the UN next month. And this is what France plans on basically recognizing when we look at it. And so what would it allow? This is what France is calling for in their New York Declaration. Ceasefire and withdrawal from Gaza, agree to an imminent permanent ceasefire and fully withdraw Israeli forces from Gaza as part of a package that includes release of all hostages and a prisoner exchange. It gets better. End siege occupation measures on Gaza. Treat Gaza as part of a future Palestinian state unified with the West Bank, with no occupation, siege, territorial reduction, or forced displacement. As a matter of fact, they've taken a step further, bringing up the right of return, stating basically that any of the Palestinians have a right to go into Israel wherever the hell they want after this. That's like France's official stance. Restore services and open crossings for aid and commerce. Permanent UN NGO operations. Uphold UN privileges and immunities. Repeal legislation against UNRWA. Allow visas and work permits for humanitarian staff and ensure protection for UN and relief personnel. Hand over governance space to the PA with UN backstopping. Accept that governance, law enforcement, and security across Palestinian territory lie within the Palestinian Authority. Public two-state commitment on 1967 lines. Can't make that shit up. Not even going to get into that one. Align with ICJ advisory opinion on international law. Take concrete measures consistent with the 19 July 2024 ICJ advisory opinion. Countering illegal settlement policy, forcible displacement, and annexation. Uphold the historical status quo at Jerusalem holy sites and Jordan's custodianship role. Jordan doesn't want it, man. Transfer Palestine revenues and fund. Like, my head exploded when I actually looked into what the majority of what like the French want. Yeah. I don't know if you guys have read all of that, but it's freaking mind-numbing. Look, here's the problem with a two-state solution currently. They don't have a functioning government inside Gaza. They don't. Further, if they did, and it was an official nation, here's what would happen. Israel would have every single right to close off their borders. Nothing in, nothing out of Israel going into Gaza. They have that right to control their borders how they see fit as a sovereign nation. Number one. Number two, Gaza would be considered a terrorist nation. Period. And because of that, Israel would be legally authorized to have a naval and aerial blockade along with land going into Gaza. They can shoot whatever the hell they want out of the sky within reason. They could take over whatever boats they want trying to make their way in there within reason. They can literally do whatever they want. But if you think Egypt's going to help them out, you've lost your dang mind. Egypt hates them. Egypt just sent like a massive freaking convoy down there in order to secure the border to keep Palestinians from going into the freaking Sinai Peninsula. So what is anybody going to do? If you declare a two-state solution, they don't have a functioning government. Israel can literally shut off whatever the hell they want and do literally nothing for them. Shoot whatever they want out of the sky and go after any of the boats in the freaking ocean, and the people are going to wither away off in the freaking Gaza Strip. And maybe that's what just needs to happen. Maybe Israel, in fact, needs to just declare a two-state solution and say, you know what? Sure. You want to be your own nation? Go for it. And we're going to treat you like one. We'll treat you exactly like we would any other hostile nation and see how long they last. Do you think Zelensky is going to get Victoria Nuland? Oh, dude, I hope not. I really hope not. Victoria Nuland, that's the lady that that was in the tapes with who the heck was it, man? Was it the ambassador when they were discussing everything about like how they're gonna take over? Excuse me, the coup and all that crap. English only in the chat, please. Oh, good God. What do we have in the chat other than English? It's absolutely freaking nuts what some of these people end up doing. Look, man, I don't personally know. Really, I don't know what it's going to bring. I don't know where it's going to go, but here's what I do know is that Israel's not giving up what they've taken inside of Gaza, period. What you're looking at is a drunken Ukrainian guy playing with a Russian FPV drone. Danny Golan says, what about the West Bank, which is all the way east? West Bank itself? Well, let's see. Israel just wrapped up like a 6-month-long operation over inside of Jenin. The entire place is a ghost town. So they've been actually killing terrorists over there for as long as I can remember. In the last week alone, they ended up rounding up like 90 terrorists in random operations. French? Oh, dear God. Ended up rounding up like 90 terrorists in random operations over inside of the West Bank. The West Bank isn't going to go anywhere, right? And let's not forget about Hezbollah that they have to deal with. And you know, I ended up bringing it up this morning that it's not the only thing that they have to deal with. Let me see if I can grab this link and open it up real quick. Because it's also important to remember that there's other things that are going on over outside of those borders. I mean, seriously. Here. This I ended up showing this morning. IDF ended up doing, this is a press release that they ended up putting out. Footage from defensive activities in southern Syria. Troops from the 474th Brigade completed several nighttime activities in the region. Shows them going through and conducting these things. They ended up taking several POWs, dragging them back into Israel. But in addition to that, they also ended up taking a bunch of weapons and equipment. Imagine that. Look at all that crap, right? So all of this was on its way to go over and massacre Druze and or attack Israel. A lot of it is brand new Chinese or Russian stamped equipment, fresh out of the freaking box, pouring in from God only knows where. And Al-Jawani, the asshole that's behind all of this, is going to be coming to the United States in September. Yay! To the UN General Assembly. Everybody, yay! Al-Jawani. Right? Al-Qaeda freaking terrorist is going to make his way back over here. Why? Why are we allowing him to come into the United States? It's freaking beyond me. This is the stuff that they are supplying to the freaking forces in order to go down and slaughter the Druze inside of southern Syria. And it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. It's a matter of time before Iran thinks that they're going to preemptively attack Israel from going in and killing. No, Jasmine, I'm not a fan of the French. I'm not. I don't know if you saw what I just read off about what's his name, Macron, and all of his other nut jobs that he's got writing legislation for him. Not a fan of the French. Never have been, never will be. Not ashamed to admit it. Not a fan of the French. Guy looks like displaced Florida man. We're deporting Florida men to Ukraine. Oh, no, bud. Oh, no. We, oh, God. I'm French, and I hate the French. Thank you, Johnny Blazin. Greatly appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. It's a damn shame. It really is. It is a damn shame, ladies and gentlemen. All right. We ought to shoot him. Like, honestly, when it comes to the United States of America, Jelani, he ought to be shot. He shouldn't be allowed here. It drives me nuts. And when I see guys like Jelani come to the United States, and then I see people like Mandami running for freaking president, I just want to lose my freaking mind. Why did you join Army Ranger? I kind of confused by that question on why I chose to do what I did. I didn't know anything about the Army. It wasn't in Ranger Regiment. I was Ranger qualified, and went SF after I was in the infantry. Why did I join the military? Because I wanted to. It was something that I always wanted to do. And originally, actually, I thought I was going to be an artillery guy, a field artillery guy. Go ahead and abbreviate the first 3 letters of that and let me know what you think about it. So originally I thought I was going to be a field artillery guy. Also wanted to be a pilot and do several other things. Ended up joining the infantry thinking that it was the cool thing to do. And then just kind of worked my way out from there. So that's why I ended up doing what I did. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you ended up donating tonight and you're not subscribed to the channel yet, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the channel. Make sure you follow the channel. Make sure you do everything and promote the channel. Why? Because we need good, honest information out there. And you got to have some fun while you're doing it. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me for another episode of the Speak the Truth podcast. I will catch you first thing tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, right over here on the Speak the Truth channel. And in the meantime, while you're out there, don't get drunk and go play with Russian drones.
чем, блядь?
Prepare for interview.
Сука.
Pants!
Что за ним
I'm wearing
работает?
pants.